Good day. Hello, Denise, CW, CJ. I don't know. I put my comment in when I set this up, but I guess it doesn't appear anymore. It used to. I usually say good morning or hello or something. Can anybody else see that? I'm just curious. I mean, I'm not going to put it down if it's not showing. Hello, Sister Jeannie. I'm glad Bug has some grass to sit on. I just saw the picture this morning. It's a little joke from Arizona, no grass, coming to visit, lots of grass, and the dog is all confused about the ground. Okay, Denise says she can't see it. Okay, so I won't bother because it doesn't look like it's being, the chat is probably not activated until it actually goes live. Not that I won't bother, but good day. I say hello. We're going to continue with Saint. Oh, well, that's right. They weren't declared saints, but probably in the Holy Trinity's eyes, they are saints. But the story of La Salette, and we're going to get to the secret, not today, but probably in a day or so. It's building to that. Melanie and Maximin. All right, so let's get started right into it. And one other quick story, speaking of things or people or animals that aren't used to different things. I was helping my son-in-law chop some wood the other day to get ready for winter, and my daughter and son-in-law. And there was my niece came and surprised us with her new husband. And so we were out there with the log splitter, and he came over and he's like all amazed, watching us do this. Now I've been doing this for, I don't know, let's see, I'm 12, 40, 45 years splitting wood, something like that. But anyway, he's like, what is that? And it's just interesting. They live in the city in Boston, and they work and they do things. And I really got like concerned. I was like, wow. Didn't even know what a log splitter was or looked like. And nicest young man. Very nice. Very warm, bright, smiley. But our men need to know how to do some of these things that build manhood, if you will. Okay, getting a job strictly on the computer all day and really not even knowing what's out there and how things are created and survived and whatnot. People survive. But in any case, it was cute. It was cute. But he learned a lot, and he's very interested in moving to the country. Learned a lot wanted to know all about the chickens, which I was happy to explain. So that's what we need to do. That's good. He's being called there. All right, let's get started. In nomine Dei, Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Let us place ourselves in the presence of the Holy Trinity, and in Catholic contemplation, humbly venerate the Divine Family. Most holy and venerable Holy Trinity, one Divine Family, I believe that thou art here present. I venerate thee with the deepest humility. I render to thee with my whole heart the homage which is due to thee. O most holy Trinity, relying on thine infinite goodness and promises, I hope to obtain pardon of my sins, the help of thy grace, and life everlasting, through the merits of Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Matronam Nostrae. O most holy Trinity, I love thee above all things with my whole heart and soul, because thou art all good and worthy of all love. I love my neighbor as myself for love of thee, and I forgive all who have injured me, and I ask pardon of all whom I have injured. Let us thank the Holy Trinity for the many graces that we receive and offer ourselves and our sufferings up to heaven, and for the souls in purgatory. O most holy Trinity, I most humbly thank thee for all the favors thou hast bestowed upon me to the present moment. It is again thanks to thy bounty that I should live to see this day, and I desire to employ it solely in thy service. I consecrate to thee all my thoughts, words, actions, and sufferings of this day. Sanctify them, that there may be none that is not animated by thy love, or that would not tend to thy greater glory. Let us make a firm resolution to avoid evil and to do good. And let us beg of the Holy Trinity the graces which are necessary to us. O most holy Trinity, thou knowest my weakness, and that I am unable to do anything good without the help of thy grace. Deny me not thy grace, proportionate to my necessities. Give me strength to avoid everything which thou forbiddest, to practice the good which thou hast commanded, and enable me patiently to bear all the trials which it may please thee to send me. O Deum Atronam Nostrae, I place myself under thy protection. I throw myself with confidence into the arms of thy compassion. Be to me, O Mother of Mercy, my refuge in distress, my consolation in suffering, now and at the hour of my death. O most holy Trinity, as envisioned by St. Lucia in the Trinitarian Theophany. Deum Atronam Nostrae, Deum Jesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. I am heartily sorry for having offended thee, and I detest all my sins, because I dread the loss of heaven and the pains of hell. But most of all, because they offend thee, O most holy Trinity, who are all good and deserving of all my love. I firmly resolve, with the help of thy grace, to confess my sins, to do penance, and to amend my life. Anybody look up the apostolate of Our Lady of Saluva, or just the story about Our Lady of Saluva? I'm still curious, and I forgot to look that up yesterday. In their persons, both she and Maximin exemplified the state of society predicted in The Secret, which would culminate in the breakdown of the home. Both had suffered severe abuse in childhood, and despite the innocence of their lives, they exhibited many of the symptoms so often noted in the emotionally deprived children of today. Melanie, unschooled and rejected by an irresponsible mother, had spent many cold nights alone in the Alps, sometimes hired out to tasks beyond her years and strength in the absence of a father, forced to work far from home. The motherless Maximin, equally unschooled and with a minimum attention span, grew up accompanying his father to the local pubs. One can only conclude that these victim souls, so favored by heaven, formed part and parcel of prophetic revelations entrusted to them. Contrary to her detractors, Melanie's life was one of high virtue, austerity, and prayer. Her apparent eccentricities and instability, due almost entirely to her fidelity to her mission and her determination to keep herself in her many extraordinary gifts, among them the stigmata and living exclusively on Holy Communion. She kept them hidden from public view. On reading an account of her life in 1910, Pope Pius X exclaimed to the Bishop of Altamura, in whose diocese she had died and was buried, La Nostra Santa. He suggested to the bishop that the cause for her beatification be introduced immediately. As we know, it still waits to be opened. Testimony to her holiness is plentiful if one knows where to look, but that of the aged Father Rijou, one of her last directors, should suffice. In the 48 years that I've been a priest, I've known and directed some very beautiful souls. I dare state before God, who will soon judge me, that never have I encountered a soul so humble, gentle, pure, obedient, a virgin so pure, a character so strong, a victim so resigned in frightful trials, a martyr in body, bearing the stigmata from her tenderest years." Unquote. Melanie died at the age of 72, alone and unattended, on December 14th, 1904. But she left us the secret. It's extraordinary how many people today are still hesitant about reading it, let alone believing it, because they think it was on the index. That's not surprising, especially in trad circles, but it's also pretty much forgotten. People don't even realize that it's there. Nothing could be further from the truth. Although it's true that several publications dealing with it were condemned, some of them with very good reason, the secret itself has never suffered any official condemnation. As a matter of fact, there is extant a letter from Father Alberto Lepidi, master of the Sacred Palace, dated December 16, 1912, to Cardinal Lucon, stating officially that the secret of La Salette has never been condemned by the Index, nor by the Holy Office. Delivered orally hundreds of times by Melanie herself, it was first published in 1873 under the imprimatur of the Bishop of Naples. It appeared a second time under the imprimatur of Salvatore Zola, Bishop of Lecce, Italy, who gave his permission after consulting with Leo XIII on the matter. This edition was reprinted Ne Varietur in France in 1904, a few months before Melanie died. In the meantime, the full text had been examined by the Congregation of the Index, which found no changes necessary. And for those of you who don't know what the Congregation of the Index it used to be called the Inquisition, and it was just a group of bishops who were charged with making sure that there wasn't error or false teaching in writings, prophecies, books, teachings, etc. When Leo XIII read it initially, not only did he voice no objection, but he ordered a version with fuller explanations to be undertaken. The Bishop of Arras and Bayonne granted further imprimaturs in 1893, followed by many others throughout Catholicdom. Father Rigaud, writing around the turn of the century, stated that he had in his possession 28 editions of The Secret, with imprimatur from cardinals and bishops. Okay, so that, let's see. Okay, so around the turn of the century, there were 28 editions of The Secret. So in 50 years, or less than 40 years, there were 28 editions. So this is how we can know that history has changed, and even why what we're doing here with understanding the origins of the Holy Trinity is envisioned in the Trinitarian Theophany. It can be easily accepted. I just watched a video yesterday where something called the Wayback Machine is where all the internet pages are being archived or have been archived, and so that history isn't lost. And it just so happened that he was checking out he was checking out Twitter, since it was it is one of the biggest. And on the Wayback Machine, all of the Twitter blog was deleted between 2019 and 2023, and then it came back on again. Now, what happened between those years? Okay, a tremendous thing in history. Okay, it was the lie. That lie, and intentionally, no less. And this is why I believe that this is a repeating pattern in history, that they have done this before, like I mentioned with the wells, with the Spanish flu, and all of that, those times when there was mass die-off, if you will. So it's just interesting that I saw that. I picked these things out and share them. Nevertheless, as Melanie wrote on May 16, 1904, quote, with imprimatur and all imprimators, I wonder who will believe the teachings of an apparition when almost the whole Church of God no longer believes in the word of Deum Jesum Christum, or if she does believe, it's only with the faith of the intellect and not with the faith of the will. Very profound statement there. Although never placed on the index, the secret suffered grievous impediments due to the cause Melanie recognized so well. It must be noted here that by a decree of the Holy Office dated December 21st, 1915, the faithful were forbidden to write commentaries or interpretations of the secret. As far as can be ascertained, this decree is still in effect. But are the commentaries necessary? Okay. As Melanie told her director in 1903, souls who are God's friends can guess the secret's meaning without help, and the others won't want to because it applies to them too closely. When all is said and done, the secret only proposes observance of God's law and complains of the lack of observance of this same law. And it threatens the transgressors of this holy law with chastisements and scourges. Pope Pius IX summed it up even more briefly than she did. Quote, if you don't do penance, you will perish. If this was clear at the turn of the century, it's even clearer now for those with eyes to see. Hardly any should of goodwill needs help in interpreting the secret of La Salette today. It has become an open secret, if ever there was one. In the letter just quoted to her director, Melanie explained exactly the sort of thing Our Lady was referring to when she said, quote, in 1865, the abomination will be seen in the holy places, she wrote. Unquote, she wrote. There are two holy places. Quote, and she continues, there are two holy places, the church and the spouse, or if you prefer, the soul, which no longer belongs to herself. In 1865, there passed, like a gust of rebellion, an archbishop who poisoned a king. Cardinals and others sold to great sea of Catholicism after having become fathers several times. And events like nature, it's a long story, but nobody knows about it, you say? Haven't we heard tell that Napoleon, Garibaldi, Gambetta, and certain priests were in the habit of visiting convents from time to time, that they were very charitable towards these nuns, unquote. And that in other countries or kingdoms, the rendezvous took place in churches. And hasn't Freemasonry been solemnly established? That is to say, recognized? But it's useless. I'm not capable of uncovering the stratagems, the blood of crimes, which only apathy and frenzy for pleasure have hidden from the eye of those who already no longer see. We shall see. It's not everyone who will see, but those souls nearest to the spotless light. She concludes, quote, at most, we can say that God is reproaching us with the same crimes which caused the cities of Solomon and Gomorrah to perish by fire from heaven. And again, it's interesting. It seems that these times of destruction are very similar, and they occur over and over when the sin level, in my opinion, reaches a certain level of depravity. All right, let us do penance and let us begin the Mass. Deum vobiscum, et quoque Tei. Oremus. O most holy Trinity, the Creator and Redeemer of all the faithful, grant to the souls of thy servants and handmaids the remission of all their sins, that they may obtain by loving prayers the forgiveness which they have always desired, who livest and reignest with thee, one holy Trinity, forever and ever. Suscipe Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum hoc immaculatam hostium, quam ego indenius famulus tuus offeriti Deum meum vivum et verum, pro inimicibus peccatis et offensionibus et negligencies meis, et pro omnibus circumstantibus, sed pro omnibus fidelibus, Catholicorum vivis atque, defunctis ut mihi et idis proficiet ad salutem. Deum qui humanae substantiae dignitate mirabilite contradis et mirabilis reformatio da nobis, periulis atquae et divine mysterium, eius divinitatis esse consortis qui militatis nostrae, fiat notis es patecets Deum Iesum Christum Filium, qui tecum vivit et regnat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Offerimus tibi Deum calicem salutaris tuum de peccatis clementium, ut ac aspectu divinae majestatis tuae, pro nostra et totius mundi salute, cum adoris suavitatis ascendat. In spiritu humilitatis et in animo contrito, suscipiam rate Deum Iesum Christum et sequiet sacrificium nostrum ec aspectu tuo hodie, ut placiat tibi Deum matronam nostrae, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, Veni Sanctificator, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, et sanctificite plata prosequendo, et acapere hoc sacrificium tuo sanctum nomini praeparatum. Suscipe Sancta Trinitas Concoblationum cum tibi afferimus a memoriam passionis, resurrectionis et ascensionis Deum Iesum Christum, et in honoram Deum matronam nostrae et a Papa Peter Sanctorum et Istorum et omnium Sanctorum, ut idis proficiet ad honorem nobis autem et salutem et illi pro nobis intercede dedin inter caelis, quorum memoriam agimus in telis pedinum Christum Deum nostrum. Orate ut meum ac vestrum sacrificium acceptabile fiat op Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Suscipiat Deum Iesum Christum sacrificium de manibus tuis et laudem et gloriam nominis sui, ad utilitatem quoque nostram totiusque ecclesiae suae sanctae. Deum vobiscum, et quoque Tei. Sursum corda habemus a Deum. Gratias agamus Deum nostrum, dignum et justum est. Te igitur limites mi mater et pater et Deum matron nostra et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum per Deum Iesum Christum Filium tuum Deum nostrae supplices rogamus et petimus. Uti accepta habeas et sanctificas, haec sanctam sacrificium irribata. In primis quae tibi afferimus pro ecclesiam tuam sanctam catholicam, quam pacificare, custodire, honore et regere digneris toto orbiterarum atque catholicae. Memento Deum famulorum famulum tuorum. We pray for the sick and the suffering. We pray for Katie, Gage, Eleanor Lively, R.M., Maria Josephina Mose, Letitia, Mark Jr., Henry, Barbara and Benedict Santa Croce, James Santa Croce, Mr. Nobody, Ann Botink, the Cantu and Duarte families, Michaela McLarnon and family, Janolina, Lori, Aaron and family, Maria and the Line Weber family, the Cahill, Kendrick, Dasco, Nye, Tafur, Began, Wolf, and Kane families and their intentions. We pray for Mr. Nobody to receive the funding and strength needed to complete the first Sedevacantis Catholic Council office in Monastery of Illinois. We pray for an end to all governmental allowance or sanctioning of abortion, transgenderism, transhumanism, child trafficking, child abuse of any kind, anywhere, place, or time. We pray for an end to all governmental allowance or sanctioning of lying in all forms of governance, especially in security or policing. We pray for the establishment of a Catholic monarchy with a sound Catholic system of labor, human value, medium of exchange with no usury. We pray for courageous men to step forward as leaders of this Catholic society, to learn the evils of the debt system, and to promote the monarchy. We ask that all quote-unquote gay marriage be banned, a reversal of the feminist ideology, and a return to godly femininity. We ask that all stop working for Freemasons and corporations and convert into private business. We ask that women come to understand that raising of traditional Catholic families is a very high ideal and a necessity for sustaining a Catholic society. We ask that all pornography and the OnlyFans platform be stopped immediately and forever. We ask that we continue to save the history, the true history, on tablets or on something that will withstand the deletion by digital means. We ask for the conversion of all sinners trapped in a state of mortal sin, especially for the ignorant. We ask also to block all efforts by the WEF and the WHO, which are based on lies and deception and evil. We also ask you to destroy the satanic document of Vatican law, that is the Jewish Talmud, that you destroy Rome and the Vatican and recognize the authority of the Catholic Church to Fatima, Portugal. Please also destroy all forms of Freemasonry with its tentacles all over the lands and bring the members into the submission of the Trinitarian Theophany through correct baptism and confession. All these things we ask in accordance with the Holy Trinity's divine will, in accord with that. Et omnium circumstantium quorum tibi fides cognita est nota votio, pro quibus tibi ferimus veruque tibi frontox sacrificium laudis proces uisque omnibus, pro redemptione anamarum suarum prospe salutis et bonamitatis suae, tibi credum volta sua aeterno Deum, vivo et vero. Communicantes et memoriam venerantes in primis gloriosae, semper Deum matronam nostrae et Deum Iesum Christum, et beatorum martyrium torum Papa Sancti Petri, et Sancti Lucia, et Sancti Jacinta, Sancti Francisco, et Sancti Juan Diego, et omnium sanctorum tuorum quorum meritis, praecibusque concedas ut in omnibus protectiones tuae, muniam revixidio petiendum Christum Deum nostrum. Quam oblationem tu Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum in omnibus consecratem acceptabile conficere dignitis ut nobis corpum et sanguinem fiat didictis mi filium tuum Deum Iesum Christum, qui pridie quam pateretur recepit panem in sancta saco venerabilis manus suas, et derivatis oculis in caelum ate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum suum omnipotentem tibi gratias agens, consecravit, frege didique lumis sui dicens acipite, et mandacati ex hoc omnes. Hoc est enim corpus meum. Simene modo postquam ceremonia est accipiens et hunc praeclarum calicem et sancta saco venerabilis manus suas et in tibi gratias agens Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, consecrave didique lumis sui dicens accipite et vivite ex eo omnes. Hic est enim calix sanguinis mei, mysterium fidei, quae pro nobis pro multis effundetur in remissionem peccatorum, haequo est cum efficeritis in me mono fecetis. Dei et memoris Deum nos servitui sed plebs tua sancta justum Christum fideium tuum Deum nostrae. Tam beate passiones nec non et in fidis resurrectionis, sed et in caelos gloriosae expiationis offerimus praeclarae maiestati tuae, de tuis donis ac datis, supra quae propitio ac sereno futurus quieri digneris. Supplices te ragamus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum iube hic per manus tuum ut quod ex hoc altaris participationis sacrosanctum Deum Filium tuum, corpus et sanguinem simsenimus omni sanctificatione caelestia gratia requiamur per in Christum Deum nostrae. We pray for those who have died. We especially pray for James Cogan, for whom this Mass is being offered. Ipsis Deum et omnibus in Christum quis gentibum locum refegeri educis et pacis ut ondor est praecamur per in Christum Deum nostrum. Perquam hic omnia Deum Iesum Christum semper bona creas, sanctificas, vivicas, consecratis et praestas nobis. Per ipsum et cum ipso et in ipso. Est ibi Deum Matrum omnipotenti in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, omnis honor et gloria. Ave Dea, Matronum nostrae, gratia plena Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum tecum, sanctum tuum in mulieribus, Dea Matronum nostrae, Materam Deum Iesum Christum, misericordia nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Libera nos quaesimus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum ab omnibus malis, praeteritis, praesentibus et futuris, et intercedente beata et gloriosa semper Deum Matronum nostrae, cum Papa Petrum Sanctorum et omnibus sanctis da propitiis pacem Diegos nostris, ut opi misericordiae tuae aduite et peccato simus semper liberi et ab omni perturbatione securi. Per eundum Deum nostrum, Iesum Christum filium tuum Deum nostrum, qui tecum vivit et reinat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per aeternam. Pax Deum Iesum Christum sit semper vobiscum et quoque apotei. Haec mixtio et consecratio corporis et sanguinis Deum Iesum Christum fiat excipentibus nobis in ad salutem aeternam. Pax tecum et quoque apotei. Deum Iesum Christum, qui ex voluntate Deum Matronam nostrae, cooperante Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per mortem tuam unum vivifigasti, libera me per hoc sacro sanctum corpus et sanguinum tuum novus iniquitatibus meis, et una vesis malis et functibus in harere mandatis, et aeternum quam separati permittas, qui cum eodem Deum Matronam nostrae et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, vivis et regnam aeternam. Perceptio corporis tui Deum Iesum Christum, quod ego indinius sumere praesum non mihi proveniat in idicium et condemnationem, sed pro tua pietate prosit mihi ad tutum et impetis corporis, et ad me delam percipiendam, qui vivis et reinas cum Deum Matronam nostrae in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Panem caelestem accipiem et nomen Deum Iesum Christum invocabo. Dea Matronam nostra non sunt dignius, ut te meis, in tante de quervos nabaturnam mea. Deum Iesum Christum non sunt dignius, ut te meis, in tante de quervos nabaturnam mea. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum non sunt dignius, ut te meis, in tante de quervos nabaturnam mea. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. quid retrubum Deum Iesum Christum pro omnibus quae retrubut mihi calicem saitaris ecipium et nomen Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum invocabo. Laudans invocabo Deum matronam nostra et ab inimicis meis avocero. Sanguis Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima meam. Gloria Sumpsimus Deum Iesum Christum. Pudamente capiamus et immunilete parafi nobis remedium sempiternum. Corpus tuum Deum Iesum Christum, quod sumpsi et sanguis quem potavi et heriat visceribus meis apraesta, ut in me non remaniat scelero macula quem purat sancta reficerunt sacramenta. Deum vobiscum, et quoque pote, oremus. May the prayer of thy suppliants profit the souls of thy servants and handmaids, we beseech thee, O most holy Trinity, that thou mayest free them from all sins and make them sharers in thy redemption, who livest and reignest with thee, Deum Iesum Christum et Deum matronam nostra et Deum Iesum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apote, ite me seest, Deum gratia. Placia tibi sancta Trinitam obsequim servitutis mea et praesta ut sacrificim corroculis tuae majestatis in unus obduditivis et acceptabile mique et omnibus, pro quibus idut obduliciti miserante propitiabile per Christum Deum nostrum. Sanctificat vos omnipotens Deum, matronam et filium et spiritum sanctum, Deum matronam nostra et Deum Iesum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. O most holy Trinity, I believe, I venerate, I hope, and I love thee. I beg of thee pardon for those who do not believe, do not venerate, do not hope, and do not love thee. Most Holy Trinity, Dea Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, I venerate thee profoundly, and I offer to thee the most precious body, blood, soul, and divinity of Deum Iesum Christum, present here in reparation for the outrages, sacrileges, and indifferences by which he himself is offended, and through the infinite merits of his most sacred heart and immaculate heart of Dea Matronam Nostrae, I beg of thee the conversion of poor sinners. In nomine Dei Matronam Nostrae, Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. Thank you for attending, and thank you for helping us out. And again, if you could send a little extra donation to Mr. Nobody, and let's get that that monastery fixed up and completed. Would appreciate that. And thank you for all the comments, etc. Please share this video and like it. If you like it, it goes out to more people who are interested in this sort of thing. And yeah, we can make a difference. All right, please go and sanctify all those you meet, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.